Japan 22. Japan Pot 22. Basic Learning Illustrated Sports. The process of learning skills on a national scale may be illustrated by the Japanese approach to studying sports. When China began to expand its contact with non-communist nations in the early 1970s, the first sports team it sent abroad was table tennis. The one sport in which Chinese were world champions. China next sent out men's and women's volleyball and basketball teams, sports in which they are almost as strong. The standard Japanese approach is different. They choose instead a prominent Western sport they hope to master. The first major sport selected was baseball, introduced in 1873, 5 years after the Meiji Restoration, and popularized at turn of the century. When it was clearly prominent American sport, Japanese sent observers to watch the strongest American teams and to undergo training under their tutelage. They invited the best players to Japan for demonstration games. It is no accident that the America's most celebrated pre-World War II baseball player, Babe Ruth, received a tumultuous welcome in Japan and remained one of the great Japanese heroes. After World War II, the Japanese were quick to invite to their country whole demonstration teams. Gradually, Japanese teams arranged to recruit 1 or 2 American players each. To be sure, some of the American players were past their prime, but that was not the point. Their own playing might help the team only a little in the short run, but they would help to train other team members, imparting know-how that would make the Japanese team strong in the long run. The Japanese invited the best American big league teams to Japan to play Japanese teams. In the early years of the American teams overwhelmed their Japanese counterparts, but it was no shame to lose badly at that time. It was seen as the way to build up skills. Gradually, the Japanese teams lost by smaller margin, and despite the American advantage of the greater physical size, the Japanese began occasionally to beat American professional teams. When a group of young girls swimmers from the United States dominated the Tokyo Olympics 1964, they caught the eyes of the world. But in Japan they became sensation. Young Japanese and their coaches made pilgrimages to the United States to study the system for developing their talent. The American girls were invited to put on exhibition in Japan and to give occasional pointers to the Japanese counterparts. Aside from the coaching given talented Japanese swimmers, the major lesson in Japanese eyes was that the United States had developed an intensive program to single out swimmers with competitive potentials at junior high school age, providing a reservoir of talent from which championship swimmers could develop. The statesmen of Japanese sports world concluded that if the Japanese grade school throughout the country were to teach swimming, Japan could create an even larger group of talented young swimmers with an earlier start, possibly compensating for small physical size and population base smaller than the United States and Russia's.